And what we want to do this time is to go from the moment, to try and work out with you two, from the moment the Italian guards come in and chuck their rifles down and buggered off home on September the 3rd, 43, right through to getting under the wire in Switzerland. Just that section. And what I want to do with you is to go through scene by scene. Some cases, I mean, in general, I'll know, you know, so which bit next, sort of thing, and just see if we can work out where you can remember what things were said. Because we'll get the actors playing each person, you see, and like you might be able to remember, well, I remember saying to Giovanni such and such. So the actor will say the line, and then I'll say to you, you know, do you remember what Giovanni said back? Well, sometimes he will, and sometimes he won't. It doesn't matter. We'll just slog on right through as far as we can get in the afternoon, trying to sort of recreate what was said. And if there's one scene where you don't remember anything that was said, well, it doesn't matter, because there's that many scenes in that period of 6 months that we can get some, you see, so that when we're doing it, ultimately, obviously, we won't use it all. After that, we'll have it all typed out. Thomas will be recording everything at the same time, so we can sort of check back in the recording. We don't need to get everything down right as we do it there. But we'll look at the scenes, and some scenes we'll do in dialogue form. You know, you speak, Frank speaks, Jock Atwell speaks, Jock Hamilton, and so on. Other scenes we'll just do with one of you, either the actor who's playing you or your actual voice over the loudspeaker, saying, and then we went to this guide and he took us over the mountain, sort of thing. Do you see what I mean? So we've got, you see, we've got your account, Frank's account, Jock Hamilton's account, and Jock Atwell's account, all of which we can draw on for bits where you can't remember what was said. So we can tell the story in a combination of narrative, narration, storytelling, and actual scenes. Okay, gentlemen? So, you know, stand up, sit down, as it were. I mean, basically it'll be good when we, and we'll, also as far as the way we stage it is concerned, we've just got this set of boxes here, and we'll just try and roughly with boxes build up each place as it was, recreate the let-up just with the boxes for the time being, and we'll actually do it, you know, like lying on the beds or whatever. Okie doke? Yes. Right, folks. Folks. Don't stand by because you may be needed for rose columns in the rice fields or Can you remember also? Oh, Jeff, could you get me magic shoes, please?
Well, Frank,
they're upstairs in my office.
When we left.
My magic shoes.
That bloke handed me his rifle at Chernobyl in that gate home. Remember him handing his rifle over to me?
Oh, listen. Italy finito.
Italy kaput.
Kaput finito. He was going home over there.
Italia finito. Inglesi buono.
Was it blasted up to them?
And dove andare? Want to know where we're going, don't you? Escapare via.
What's that mean, Bill?
Get off and escape.
That's what the Italian guard said to you?
Escapare via.
They said. They said you piss off.
Yes. Escapare via.
Because they were leaving the rifles and bugging off home.
They
That's what they said there.
One bloke gave me his rifle.
Bob Pike and
Fred Pike.
Fred Pike
and Bob Hamblin. Which was there was one that was a tall one, wasn't there?
Bob Hamblin.
Oh, bumbling.
Yeah, he was the cocky one.
Yeah.
And we've got to put that. Graham, would you like to? Graham plays all our wicked characters generally. And the other, what was the other? Was
Fred Pike.
Fred Pike.
He was only a little chap,
He was only a little fella.
He was only a little. I don't think we've got any little fellas left, have we?
Cut him off at the knee.
Oh, Terry can play. All right. So when they crop up.
Still, they didn't do so much, did they?
No, I know, but you lumbered with them for the first.
Oh, you lumbered with them for the first.
Well, I did.
Yeah.
Because they weren't with us when we got all the vino down.
Oh no, we'd parted company in that shed.
Yeah.
When we come out that hut, that big
Okay.
shed.
Now,
And we stopped it.
Scene one, the camp.
Scene 1, the camp.
Well, you want your pigs
when the
down.
Italians took the rifles down. Right, have these notebooks ready to the extent you need them. The other night, Ben or somebody said, you'd just come in from a working party when this happened.
Yes.
It was the evening of the 3rd of September.
Yeah.
Or the 9th? No, it was the 9th. Must have been the 9th. The 9th was the day that the Italians surrendered.
Capitulated, yeah.
The 3rd
Yes,
was
well,
the day.
this was the day previous to that. This was the day previous to that. Before they capitulated, we knew the capitulation was coming on. They knew this, and they didn't want nothing to do with us at all from the 3rd to the 9th.
So when did you jack it in? When did you jack it in?
Well, we got away possibly the night before the capitulation.
Be the
Can you
8th.
remember the guards coming into the camp?
They said, Italia finito.
So where were you then?
Well, we were in the camp.
We'd come
then.
back to camp
Were
then.
you
We'd
in
come
the
back
bed?
from
Were you
work.
in the? Were you? Did it happen in the compound or
We were in 146.
We were in 146.
We'd come back from work.
inside a hut?
Well,
No, we used to walk outside,
Used to
you know,
walk.
just
It wasn't
walking
much.
about.
So they were saying, were you with Frank? Can you remember?
Yes,
Yeah, we'd all come back from work.
Who was there? All 6 of you?
No, because Tug wasn't with us.
Tug wasn't with us.
No,
Jock
but
was
I mean,
There was Jock,
Jock. Right,
Jock
step
Hamilton,
forward.
you,
Step forward. Phil,
me,
Simon.
Amelin, all them that went
Freddie
working at
Pastor.
Chattanooga.
Were the whole 6 of them there?
Yeah.
How many guards came to you and said this?
Jock wasn't with us.
We'll need to hold on.
Hamilton.
Top of that.
No,
Axel was.
You weren't on that working party.
Was,
He
where did he get
No,
to know?
Jock.
He wasn't.
Yeah, did you-
No, he wasn't, because I'd got the photograph. He's not on that photograph.
Well, how did he get to know?
We picked him up after. He came to us afterwards.
So say that you 2 were definitely there.
Yeah.
Yes, but Jock wasn't there. He wasn't in the working
Joe
party.
Cartwright.
No, because you've got the photograph.
What
of
about
that.
Jock Hamilton?
And he was in the working party.
Right, so Jock's in it.
Yes.
So you 3 were what? Just sort of strolling about the camp compound?
Yeah, so you can see better something to eat probably.
See what, Frank?
There's something to eat after, you know, make a brew and
What, would you do this in the grounds of
We
it?
do this in the
Yeah.
ground, you see.
What, how would you do it?
Well, there was...
Sitting on boxes?
This
or-
particular night, you see, there was no food that night. There was no food at all that night. Because I remember coming in from that working party, we used to feed out, didn't we?
Well, at work, yeah.
At work, we fed out at the
Farm.
farm. When we came in at night, the usual practice was to go and get a wash then.
Yeah.
Then after that, we used to loaf around the camp and well, there wasn't much walking space at all.
No.
But that evening, they came in, they said, Italiani finito. Tutti
Alan.
finito.
Right.
And they threw in their arms and they said, escapare via.
get off.
Get
escape.
off because Tedeschi had us. That
Yes.
was the German.
Okay, Tedeschi.
Tedeschi would come and gather us up and take us off to Germany.
Did they say that in half Italian, half English?
No, they just said in Italian.
Yeah.
And then what we did then, we
And you
just simply walked out the camp
Ah.
and
He offered us his rifle.
they took the
guard.
rifles,
Yeah,
took the
take
rifles,
these
then
rifles.
take these and...
So
Did
we
he
said-
take any of them?
No,
And
we
then
didn't have any arms.
they were like this then, they got their hand up.
Right. So should we just have the 3 of you? You say you were sitting down having a brew up.
Yeah, brew up or a natter.
What? How would you do? Would you sit? Would you crouch or sit on the ground or sit on boxes or what?
Boxes.
Well, you sit on
Sit
anything,
on the
what was
ground, on a
available.
stone, a brick, anything.
Yeah. So you were sort of just
Just
lounging
lounging
around.
around any old how,
Yes. Right. So there's the 3 of you standing around, and we've got we'll need how many Italians roughly? Said this here, 2 or 3, or the over and top.
Yeah.
Well, I
There-
should
there's
say in the
a-
guy, there was about, what's there, 100 of us there, Frank?
Where, in 146? No. There wasn't, because there was only the 2 pounds we were working, wasn't it?
Oh yes, there was
The 2 pounds,
24.
that one where I went.
24, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Ah, 24.
About 24 of it. 12 on a farm.
12 on a pound, that's it,
In the
24.
whole of the camp.
In
Yeah,
this
this is
little
a
camp,
working
it's
camp, yeah.
146, yeah. Now there'd be 24. So there'd be possibly about 6 guards.
So we'll have to, if there's we'll have 2 guards coming in. We'll reduce numbers, you see.
Oh, well, you can do, because, I mean, some of the guards were around the camp.
Yeah.
There was only 2 guards allocated to the parties, 1 to each party.
Oh, I see. So there's a couple coming.
We only had one guard when we went
Terry
out to
and,
work.
Terry and Alan as guards come to you. So you're crouched round, let's say. You're crouched round, having a natter, right?
Yeah.
You three. And in come the two.
The guard's
in come
name was Giuseppe.
some guards.
Giuseppe, the guard's name was.
And so there was one particular guard called Giuseppe.
Giuseppe, our guard, was on our part.
They used to take Glad to work with us.
That's him on that photograph.
Ah,
You know the
so
photograph?
Terry, you can do that, all right? Because he looks more like
Giuseppe.
you than he looks like shed like that.
Giuseppe.
Right, Giuseppe comes in with his mate, right, with their rifles, and they say, were they just carrying rifles?
Just carrying the rifle.
Oh, they carry them like that?
Well, on the shoulder.
On the shoulder?
Any bloody road they carried them, they never knew it. They couldn't do rifles, though.
Right, so in they come to you. Did they rush into you or just wander up to you?
They just
A
wandered
night,
up.
I rush. You never
Very
do that.
very forlorn. They looked, you know, very forlorn.
Very forlorn, yes.
And
And Giuseppe says,
Giuseppe says, Italia finito.
Italia
Italia finito.
What?
Italia finito.
Yeah.
Then he said, escapare via.
Escapare via. Yeah?
And then they said,
In Glasgow.
escapare via, tedeschi, what was it then? That meant like from coming to collect us.
Collect you.
Veni, isn't it? Something like Venito, something like that. His name was correct. No, that will come. What he was saying was that the Italians.
What they meant to say was the Germans, if we didn't go, the Germans would come and collect us up
Yeah.
and take us to Germany.
Was this a big sort of torrent of Italian babble?
Yes,
Yeah.
this was yeah.
Well, Italian X-ray, you know, his hands get like yours do, up and down.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
With typical.
And were they both talking at once, or a lot
It
of them
was
talking
Giuseppe
at
that
once?
was doing all the talking, wasn't
It
it?
was Giuseppe's was talking the most. Him was our guard, you see.
He was like the senior soldier.
Was he the senior soldier at La Girarda?
But, yeah,
Ladiago.
Yeah.
Well, he had a bit of a
stripe on.
stripe on his arm.
Yeah. And what did you say?
Oh, did I say nothing? We said,
He said England, Inglesi Bono.
Inglesi Bono.
We were good. He said.
No, they said Inglesi Bono. See, because we were their captives, you see.
Yeah.
We were their captives. Then when it turned the other way, when the shoe was on the other foot,
Yeah.
you see, we were Bono, Inglesi Bono.
Yeah.
We were good lads then.
Tedeschi.
Tedeschi.
Niente Bono. Niente Bono.
Right?
Tedeschi.
It's your line out. Inglesi Bono. So you've done all the Tedeschi will come and collect you. Did they sit down with you and Tedeschi?
Oh no, we didn't give him a chance to sit down. We'd gone.
He dropped his,
What, you mean?
He dropped his
You never
rifle.
said a thing, you just...
Oh,
but
he-
what about offering them your...
Well, they
that's
gave
right.
us those. They took them down. They gave us those.
Chucked them on the
And
ground.
they went then.
They were off
They
home.
were off.
Did they back away out?
Cars are me. Cars are me. They want to go home. Cars are me.
But did they say, here are the rifles, or did they just chuck them
Chuck tomatoes.
on the deck?
Yeah.
And what did you do, leave them there?
Well, we wouldn't have them.
Well, we wouldn't have them because if we'd have
we
been
got
caught,
picked up with arms.
if we'd have got picked up with arms, we should have.
Straight away, we were shot. So they got
Right,
no
let's
arms, we
drop
stood a
them
chance.
Right.
So we went, see, without arms.
Okay, so down go the Inglesi Bono, eh?
No, I said that.
Bono.
Inglese Bono.
Tedeschi, niente Bono.
Tedeschi.
Niente Bono.
Niente Bono.
And they've gone. With not a word. You didn't say, no, we do not want your rifles, or...
Oh no. We went then.
And presumably, were they going around to all the other?
Oh no, there was nobody else
There's
then.
nobody else
there was no
there
one
then.
there. There was no others. We were right down in the middle of the campagna. What they call it in the, you know, what that's
No,
what
I
they call
see.
it, the campagna. In the country.
Yeah.
So then we jiggered off back up to the farm where we were.
Yes.
Where
Man, we
were.
couldn't contact the Padroni.
So that's the end of scene one.
We couldn't contact
End
the
of scene
Padroni
one.
because he was a bloody fascist, wasn't he?
He was a fast. He was a black shirt. Yeah.
But what we did, we contacted those that worked for him.
Now, sooner, ultimately, because the next bit's a bit sort of confused, Bill, take us a minute. What happened to you?
Then?
Yes.
Well, then I contacted people that I'd got acquainted
You
with.
shot straight at. Did you grab any?
Oh no, we went. We went from there. We went to the village where we normally worked. Where
Yeah.
we worked, you see.
You went to your hut and got your gear?
Well, what bit of gear we'd got, which was very little,
Yeah.
razor and so forth. I've still got that at home. You can have that if you want it.
Weekend case, you know, toothbrush.
Yeah.
And you just got your little small valise, it was. And then we made his way towards, with what little clothing we had,
Yeah.
then we went on his different ways. I can't remember Frank going away from there with me, but we made to this little village where we worked in Cheranova.
Yeah.
Back to the people as we knew for help, you see.
Yeah. Can you
Well-
remember meeting them?
Oh yes, I remember I went to a fella's name, Ernesto Cantoni his name was.
Right. And that's the Cantona, Nick. But was he an old bloke?
Well, 45, wasn't he? 45.
40s or so.
Got a daughter, 19, that's why.
Would he look? Would he? Was the daughter 19 there? At the
Oh
time?
yes, Josephina. her name was.
Josephina, Susanna. All right. All right. So you went to him, Bill, in this house. Will he do for?
Oh, you'll do for him, yeah.
Yeah,
About
right.
his height, about his height.
So what did he say to him?
So then, I knocked at his door, and as soon as he opened the door, you see, previous to this is putting it back, previous to this, while we were a prisoner, he used to say to us, if you ever want any help, always come to his house. Well, naturally, that was the first thing I did, was when
Valizo.
the first thing I did was go to his house. This
Yeah.
was Giuseppe Cantoni. I went to his house for help, and he gave me a suit of civilian clothing.
Oh, so let's get back to you knocking on the door. Can we?
Yes, knocking on the door.
He knocks on the door.
Yeah.
Now what?
Then they pulled me inside and shut the door fast
Oh, I see.
because they didn't want anyone seeing me there.
Yes, I see. What, he sort of saw you. Did you say no words exchanged?
No words. No. In
Yeah. Right.
to the door.
Yeah.
Then they gave me a.
Was she there?
No, she wasn't there then.
She'd be out working.
She wasn't there.
Right.
She'd be working.
In the field zone.
Yeah.
Right. So what did he say to you? Was there any words passed between you then?
Oh, yes, he wanted to know where I was going.
In English?
And no, he couldn't speak no English.
Oh, I see. So he said in Italian,
He said in Italian, dove andare.
Dove andare? Dove andare?
That's
Andare.
where was I going, you see.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I said, I don't know where the hell I'm going.
I don't know where the hell I'm going.
And
This might be now.
they made me some minestra, what they call minestra.
What did he say then?
Well, they gave me, they said mangiare,
Mangiare?
and sempre fame, they said, tutto pure figlio, pure figlio.
That means for his son.
That's, they felt sorry for you. Sorry, my son, you know, poor figlio.
Oh, I see. Yes, yes.
And-
Poor son. Yeah.
And
What did he do? Sit you down? And
Oh,
did he embrace you or anything?
oh
like that?
no, because they wanted to give me this food, fix me up with these clothing, and he sold some. Well, his wife sold some.
Oh, his wife come in?
His wife was already in there, and she sewed some lira notes inside the lining of an overcoat, of an old overcoat,
Yeah. Yes.
which he'd given me.
Yes, yes.
Then from there, when he turned me out, I know where to go, and that's where I met Frank. We met Frank.
So, right. So he gives you something to eat, makes you some minestre. You sit down and eat. The wife gives you what? Some clothes.
Some clothing, of his clothing, of
What?
her husband's clothing,
Yes.
and an overcoat, and
Yeah.
sold me some lira inside the lining of the coat.
So did you put this on over
And
your
I
camp
put that
uniform?
on over.
Over your camp uniform.
No, I hadn't got a camp uniform. I took that off, see, and put the civilians on.
Ah.
I'd swapped it, see.
What
for
about your
civilians.
shoes?
Well, I'd still got the old shoes as I worked in.
What, they were army boots?
Army boots.
Army boots then, yeah.
Yeah. And then,
And then I went into Cheranova itself and met Frank in
did they
this.
say goodbye fondly or anything? Or
Oh well, then that Josephina came in.
Ah. Yes.
Did you embrace it?
Tell us if there's anything that has to be censored. Yes.
Oh, well, oh no, nothing has to be censored there.
Yes.
Not at that stage. Anyway, and she came in and she asked me where I was going. Like I said, I didn't know.
English or Italian?
No, Italian. She asked me dove andare. Guglielmo, dove andare?
Guglielmo. Guglielmo.
Guglielmo.
Guglielmo. Dove andare?
And,
You didn't say to her, I don't know where they're on, did you?
oh no, I said.
You needed
Keeping it
You
vague.
didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And she said,
You had an understanding with her?
Dari un bacio.
What?
Dari un bacio. Give me a kiss. She said.
Yeah.
So I gave her a kiss and away I went.
Big kiss or little kiss?
Oh, big.
Well, you'll have to draw your own deductions from that.
Don't forget it's good to see
Were
you.
her mother and father there at that time?
Oh yes,
Oh, so it couldn't be a very big
oh no.
Yes, so you gave it a kiss. Yes, all right.
And then I went from there.
She said, Donny mi what?
Then,
Donny mi un bacio.
Dari un bacio.
Dari un bacio. Yes, and then you said goodbye.
And I said goodbye, yeah.
Yes, all right.
Well, I said ciao.
Ciao. Ciao. So off he goes. Evaporato in family, right? So
Then I walked and we met Frank, as was also in the same village, but he was with Jack Attrell then, weren't you, and Johnny?
No, no,
Well, they got their cases with them?
They got all their
We'd all got bits and
all
pieces
got
of
bits
it,
of
you know.
belongings. And
Little
Jack
bits and
Attrell had taken my army overcoat, if you remember,
Yeah.
and it was a long one, wasn't it? And we fell out up that loft. Can you remember up that A? Jack and I fell because I said, "You got my bloody overcoat," and he
Is
said,
this when you met him in the street?
"This was when no, we met him in the barn
Barn.
full of hay."
Oh, I see. So
Behind
you went to the you went to the barn then?
Well, I went to the barn then.
Oh, I see.
The farm where we used to
How did
At
you
the
know
farm
that?
where we used to work.
Oh, I see. And these two were hanging about in there, were they?
And the three were there then.
Who's the third?
Me, Jock.
Jock.
The two
The
Jocks.
two Jocks
Two
and
jocks.
Frank.
Same jock step forward. Yes. Yeah. Frank, how had you got there? Just.
Well, we'd taken different routes from the
But
camp.
you hadn't met anybody, had you? You hadn't gone to anywhere, or had you gone to Longhi? Was this at Longhi's?
No,
No.
This isn't it? This
This was
Padrone.
the Padrone where we worked.
I forget what
The
his
people
Yeah.
that work for him.
Yeah.
They were very friendly with us, always had been.
Yeah.
And they used to slip us food on the quiet and everything, you know.
Ah, maize bread, didn't they?
When
Not
this-
eggs.
When we actually capitulated, we went back and contacted these people.
Yeah.
And they put us in the barn.
So these three were in the barn. What about the two Southerners? Where were they at that time? You don't know. They weren't in the barn.
They weren't in the barn with us, no.
No. Where were these two?
They were
Sitting down on the straw? These three, Frank?
Yes, they were up the barn. They took me up the barn too, them see.
Yeah. Right.
They
so
were
they were
already
squatting
there.
down, and then Bill appears. What, up the ladder?
No, I don't know whether it was. No, it was rice underneath. Wasn't it the husks? They had that machine underneath, didn't they?
No, they're right.
There was
Thrashing machine.
There was like a thrashing machine underneath.
For the
It
rice.
separated the husks from the rice,
Yeah.
and that was all in great heaps underneath.
Yeah.
And then on the top of that was the I should say the rice stalks.
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
And
They
we
were
lay
all-
on there. We were on top of there. That's where Jock, the two Jocks and Frank was.
They were sort of lying down.
They were
Yeah.
hiding there, yeah.
Just hiding.
Hiding.
Get you down in the straw.
Right. What, were you sleeping, or? You didn't know where, did you know where you
Oh,
were?
we knew where
Well, I think we were
but
getting there just for gatherers' wits and see what we were going to do.
just to make plans then.
Just to make plans, I think.
Yeah.
Well, in the
Yeah,
day,
those bits and find out
when the daytime came, they sent us into the field, didn't they?
What to do?
They turned us
Hide
away
in
from
the
there, you
fields.
see, had to hide in the fields.
Yes. Now, you say you had a little row with Jock over your overcoat.
Yes. Well, Jock had taken this,
When did you spot that?
I think Jock had taken this from the camp because I'd gone without it. And it was a big long coat, and Jock had got it on. And we fell out about this, and he said it wasn't mine, and I said it damn well was, and that's how things were. But I never got it anyway, I didn't get it off him.
Because you had presumably another overcoat.
And I'd got the one that had
What did you
The
want?
civilian one. Well, I fancied that one because it was a nice long one.
Can you
Covered you up
remember any
more.
words of that row? Like when did you spot he was out in the attic?
Oh
Straight
no,
away?
well, what words we used then I wouldn't like to repeat.
We clear the girls out.
Oh no. No. I call him them bees, you know.
Basket.
Baskets and...
You got his effing overcoat.
Right. Okay, doke. Now then, the details of it might be good to get as fast as we can to the belfry next, if you see what I
Oh
mean.
no, well, you've missed a lot out here because from there we came down there, we contacted a family name of Francher when we came out of there.
So the next morning they put you out into the fields.
We went out the field, we contacted this family name of Francher
Yeah.
and they put us up in a loft.
Yeah.
From there, was it you and I only there?
You mean that Jock and them others went somewhere else?
They went somewhere else, didn't they?
That's where Rosa was, isn't it?
That's where Rosa was, yeah.
Were you treading the grapes?
No, I was treading the grapes, see.
Yeah. What was Frank doing?
Well, Frank was still up the loft.
I was pure.
He was pure.
Had we better not go into the details of this, Bill?
Well, he can do, it's all right, that is.
He wasn't married then.
That's true.
That's
I wasn't married then, no.
No. Right. So,
I ought to have been, mind you, but I wasn't.
Should have been.
right. So, you and Frank were on your own,
We were on his own up in this loft.
up in this loft. And Frank stayed up in the loft.
Yes, and at night time, Rosie, this was the girl at 22, she'd already had a child being Italian, she was a social outcast, wasn't she?
Yeah.
What? Right.
She was a social outcast.
What did you do? Right. So, downstairs you go.
So then, at night time, they put us up there, and then they used to take the ladder away from the barn.
Yeah.
Well, in the morning, they'd come up to us, and Rosa would, and we should just have a little bit of a cuddle up there, you know, amongst the hay. Then down I should go.
While she's waking him up, that is.
While she was waking up, and down I should go
Yes.
into the house
Yes.
and start treading grapes.
Right. Yes. Down you go. Meantime, Frank, the pure one. Why didn't Frank go down to the grapes?
Well, I don't know. Well,
You couldn't have too many
well,
of
you
them,
see,
Couldn't have too many of
it was
them.
about, I should say, about from here, about 8 feet, 9 feet long,
Yes.
and it was about this high, a wooden,
Yeah.
like a wooden coffin,
Yeah.
and it got handrails on the side here,
Yeah.
and it was full up about halfway with the grapes. You had
Yeah.
to step in it.
Yeah. In your step.
She'd be in the front.
Yes.
She'd be in front.
Yeah.
Well,
The funny part.
she'd be in front, and bear in mind, she'd got her frock tucked up here.
Yes.
Can't Gabrielle up with
I'd got just shorts on,
Yes.
and as she was going up, treading the grapes like this, when it got to the end, you see, when it got to the end, oh, I got to the end. Well, I tried.
Yeah.
Well, but she wouldn't have that. As soon as she got to the end, she does this. See, that put me in front then.
Right. Would you like to do that, Molly? This could be a good scene. Right.
How long is it?
8
It's
foot.
about 8 feet.
The longer the better.
Oh, it's longer than that.
A mime of grape treading.
That answer that one.
All things were going through my mind, but bear in mind what I'm doing that.
What, like,
How long is the grape treading that?
how about that then?
That's it.
Narrower.
A bit longer than that it was.
Where does that red line
That's it,
sit?
about that length with the end. That's it.
Okie doke. Oh, right. Right.
Get treading.
Now you're stamping all the way. You see, you're treading these going up like this all the time. Treading these.
You haven't got your shoes on, though.
You haven't got your shoes on, mind you. And
Get ready.
you go right up to the end.
Now grab her, Colin.
So she whips round. He whips round. Yeah. Was she tough?
No, not really. Then, because she was expecting something, see? Then I had to turn around and go back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she was behind me, but... See, then I'd do a quick turn, try and get to this road.
Yes. And how many weeks did this go on, Bill?
Well, this only went on for about, what would it be, about a week, Frank, then?
About a week ago.
And then at night,
Well, at night, then, she used to have us down inside the house.
so you used to go back up to Frank, did you?
And we used to,
Nice to
they
come
used to
down.
make this this minestra and pasta shooter and all bloody kinds of stuff. And we fancied risolati. That was
Rice and
rice pudding made with milk.
Did you used to say anything to Frank when you go back up there?
Oh, I used to
Frank
go...
was there with his reading his
No.
mind.
No, I used to go in and
Frank
stir... I used to go in and stir the grapes now and again with the pitchfork.
Yeah.
See, my legs would be up here, it'd have the blue tint, you see. And Frank always wanted to inspect, see if the other had got inspected. See if I'd got blue tint on and all. If it'd been
Yeah.
waist deep, you see.
So what are you doing all day then, Frank?
Well, Frank was lying about
I was
there.
lying about all day.
Yeah.
But you couldn't have too many knocking about
Yeah.
in case the Jerrys came round the village, which they did do.
Yeah.
We were out in the fields one day, in the middle of the rice field, weren't we?
Oh, yeah.
And there was Jerry looking in the village.
Oh, how many? Little squad with a motorbike or?
Well, mobile.
Mobile they were.
Little mobiles, got about a dozen or 15. And they're going searching the houses.
Well, rifles and...
See? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, well, you see,
The
at
lot.
that time, then, they put posters on everything they could. Telegraph poles, trees. Anyone
Harbouring prisoners.
harbouring prisoners of war would be, the families would be shot, starting from the children.
Yeah.
The families would be wiped out, starting from the children. And they were very reluctant to help us, you see. They wanted to get us away, but we kept coming back at night. They wanted to keep us away, and they daren't report us because we should have said, well, they helped us, you see. We should name them, and they were afraid of us doing this. That's why they kept giving us further help. As long
So
as
we'd go out during the day probably, instead of hanging around the barn, if he wasn't treading grapes, we'd go out and hide in the fields. Well, if the Jerry did pick us up in the fields, the family wasn't entailing, you see.
Yeah.
They couldn't blame the family, we were just there on our own.
Now, when did you move on from there?
Well, things got a bit
Sorry,
hot, didn't
anyway,
they?
did you ever see what you saw, presumably just from a distance, these Jerrys with their
Oh, yeah,
helmets, and
yeah.
oh, yes, you saw them, yeah.
you never came across any?
It never came, no.
Never ran into them?
No.
And then...
Were
then
there any families shot in the village?
No,
there was
not as
a
far as
priest,
you
a
knew.
priest shot in Milan, that's all we know
We
of.
never heard of any...
Nobody in the village got
You
caught.
never heard any firing, right?
Nobody got caught in Chattanooga. Well, then we got in touch with
Then-
Lungi then, didn't we?
We got in touch with,
Dominican.
well, all those girls came round, didn't they, one day? About 13 of them.
Yes.
And we're under a tree, and I didn't know which to pick, and that...
They were going back after the
They were going back
rice
after...
harvest.
They'd been to the rice harvest, yeah, and they were going back.
Used to import a lot of labour from
And,
around there, you know, these
you
farms.
see, they always thought the Englishman was a good kind of a worker, you know.
I used to give them chocolate and soap, you know.
And they always wanted to try, see what Englishman was like over against an Italian. And I tried 3 or 4, but I found no difference in them.
Yes.
And I kissed all of them before we left, instead of seeing them again, but we never did.
Then
Lucky for me.
we contacted Lungi then, didn't we?
Then we contacted Lungi. I think through him was when I had these boils in my ears, abscesses in both ears. And it was, through me complaining about me is Domenico Lungi, with him being a doctor, was notified about this, you see.
He was the next farm
And he was his next
to the
farm
one
down.
we used to work on. Only they were royalists and our blokes were fascists.
And he came out to me.
Your blokes were fascist.
How
The
was he
one we worked for, the patroni we worked for.
Rose's dad.
No.
No.
Oh.
You see, Rose's
No, Rose only
Rose's
worked-
family only worked on the farm.
Only worked on the farm.
They were like farm labourers that lived on the
Right.
farm.
So you got in touch with Longies.
Lungi, through me having these boys in years, and they contacted him. This Josephina was the I think she was the instrument really that put a good word in to him for me, you see. And I think that was how we really got in contact with him.
Yeah.
That was the first offset of it, how we got in touch with him. And he was 24 years of age then, wasn't he?
Domenico, yeah.
And his brother Franco, he was younger, wasn't he?
Can you remember him coming to you where you were? First time? What's the next sort of big thing you remember happening?
Yes, he came to me over these boils in my ears. Yeah. And this was all caused through dirt, for not being able to get it washed properly, and scratching and pecking your ears, I suppose. And then, I'm trying to think. We went to the church ourselves, didn't we?
No, Domenico took us to the church.
Didn't you say, Bill,
Domenico.
what was the time? Tell us the time when...
It was midnight.
Yes,
It was midnight.
and yes, that's it. You said when you're in a lumber.
When my mother had said to me, when you're ever in difficulty, always make refuge in a church. And we went to this church, but I can't remember Domenico taking it.
Yes, Domenico took us.
When you said we, who was together then?
All of us then.
Well, all...
There was the two jocks,
There was the two jocks,
you and I,
Frank and I,
and
Bob Hamlin,
and
and Freddie
Pike.
Pike.
Tutty six, please.
6 of us.
There was 6 then.
Yeah.
And
So
Domenico
you're all
Lungi.
together. You said it was midnight, Bill.
Midnight, yes.
Well, with you having them boils and that, Domenico Lungi made up his mind that he'd find us somewhere else instead
Somewhere
of
else,
stopping in the
stop
fields.
us in the fields, yeah. It was through that as he found us somewhere.
So he puts them in the osteria first, didn't he, by the church?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was, you were up the church.
Now what happened at
weren't you?
midnight? Were you all together out,
All
out in the
together.
field at midnight?
No, we were at, what's the name?
We were at
Up the barn there.
up at the barn at
Roses.
Roses.
Yeah.
At Roses.
So we used to come back to sleep there at
Yeah.
night. So
And
it'd
who
be
came?
warm and dry. And
Domenico
they
Lungi
brought
came,
Domenico
didn't
Lungi to him.
Yeah.
So he
To
said,
me.
well, you can't carry on like this.
You can't
right.
carry on like this.
Okay, let's have Alan. Domenico Longi. All right? So Domenico Longi. We all lying down? All lying down.
Lounge in the
Sit-
bed
Lounging
in the
down.
straw, you know.
Lounging down. And Domenico Longi comes to Bill and says,
Finance, we couldn't
He said,
carry
you can't
on.
carry on like this.
what, did you say this to him?
No, he said it to
he
us.
said to us you couldn't,
What in English?
and he
spoke
said he
English.
couldn't put us up in his flat. He'd like to put us up in his flat, didn't
Yeah. But he'd get caught.
he? He'd get
Bill.
caught.
Did he speak English?
No, he didn't speak English.
Can you remember the Italian?
But he said like he couldn't put it up in his flat. And he started telling us about he had all his clothes from Oxford Street. And
Yeah.
He had all his clothing from Oxford Street and nice cut and this, that and the other. And then he took us up to the church. He knew where he was going to take us. And he introduced us to the father, to the priest, didn't he? And the priest was a little bit apprehensive of having us
Right, so we got to the church.
until Frank told him he was a Catholic.
Right. So he introduces who to the priest?
The 6 of us.
Right, so you all in the aisle of the church, right? at
All in
midnight?
the aisle of the church.
Church, yeah.
Right. Nobody else in the church?
No
No,
one else in the church.
just the priest and Domenico.
Priest, Domenico, and the lot of you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of us there.
Right, so he introduced who to the
He,
priest?
Then he asked-
Domenico introduced us,
Domenico
told the priest
introduced
who we were and what we were.
Right.
And they had a
What-
little
can you remember what he
polite
said? These are...
Inglesi
Inglesi
prigionieri.
prigioniers.
These are Inglesi prisoners.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then he asked us what denomination we were.
Well, did he speak English?
No,
The priest, no.
no, he didn't speak English, but he asked us what. I don't know how it went then.
Qualche denominazione.
And Frank said he was a Catholic.
I showed me
Right.
He
crucifix.
showed his crucifix.
That was
Well,
me pass.
come forward, Frank.
I came
He
forward.
went forward and showed his crucifix.
Right. So what denomination are you, said the priest?
What denomination are you?
Can you say anything, Frank?
I said, EO, Roman Catholic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roman Catholic. So then he had a Polari with Dominica Longhi, the priest.
Yeah. And it was
They had a natter,
a little apprehensive
you
about
know,
having it.
all Italian and Saxon.
Yes.
And then the next thing,
What were you? Can you remember what?
we were just stood
What did you-
standing.
What did you do?
Nothing.
What did you say?
We just stood there waiting to see what the
What the outcome of the Polari
the
was.
outcome was. you see.
Yeah. So did the priest take Domenico on one side or Domenico?
They
Well, no,
just stood
still
there.
stood there, you
Yeah.
see, but they
Like
may
they are
have been
now.
talking fast in their local dialect, which we shouldn't know, and it seemed a little apprehensive to me whether he was going to accept us there or not.
How long can you remember? 5 minutes?
I think
Oh,
he was
about five
about
minutes or
5
so.
minutes. Yeah.
So this, which you did here, did you talk amongst yourselves or? You
Yeah, we were just
We were just nattering
nothing amongst ourselves. What's going to happen to us, kind of thing.
Yeah,
and
well,
I wonder if he'll have us. And,
Yeah.
and the next thing,
Next thing we up in
the party
went
takes up
ladders
the loft.
and up in the
What
Up
did
in
he
the
say?
belt.
Did he
What,
turn,
up the top
can you
of
remember
the-
him turning back to you and
it made
saying,
such an
follow
odd
me?
thing, is it?
Venedig choir. No, Venedig choir was go away.
Did Domenico then turn round to you and say anything?
He said, well, come on, kind of,
Gave it to understand that the priest
as it's
was willing to hide us.
Yes. Gave him to understand. Yes, the priest is willing to hide you.
Willing to hide us. And then
Yeah.
he took us up in the belfry.
took us up in the belfry.
So then Domenico backs away, does he? Or?
He went, Domenico went off then.
Domenico went.
Yes.
With
He
no
said,
idea.
Like he
we-
said, he went and said he would see us again, didn't he?
Yeah, with no idea where we're going to get food or anything from.
I'll see you again. He didn't show you up, Domenico didn't show you up until the loft.
Oh,
no,
no.
the priest took us up in the loft.
He took us up there.
Yes. Right, he's the young fellow, 24. That's
Yeah,
Was the
Domenico.
doctor, Domenico?
Yeah.
The doctor, yeah.
And then the priest said what? Follow me?
And he said follow him, and we went up these ladders. They were ladders.
It's only a ladder up to the belfry.
Right up into the dome of the church. it was.
Right. Okay, follow me. Follow me. So you got this ladder into the dome of the church, right? Okay, doke. And when you get to the top hill, how big was it?
Oh, it was, I should say, about 6 feet high, wasn't it, off the roof, Frank? From
Well, it was a
off
good
the dome.
height.
Good height, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the floor space wasn't all that big, was it?
And there was all dust, you know, it was terrible up there, half bricks and mortar and rubbish and rats and mice. And
The
all
floor
that.
space would be about
It was on a,
from there to there.
it was concave like that, you know.
Yes.
There's only certain parts you could walk
Semicircular.
on.
We map it
Like
out.
the top of that.
Oh yes, I see what you mean.
Shaped.
It'd be like it was up in the roof here.
Yeah,
Yes, it's like that.
But was it all planked over, Bill?
And it was all stones, no, all brick. All
All
brick
brick.
built in an arch.
What about the floor of it?
Oh,
Could
that
you
was
walk
all
anywhere
covered,
on
no,
it?
that was all covered in dust.
But was it all firm or was it just
Oh, it was
plastic?
firm. It was
enough,
firm.
yeah.
Oh,
we,
yes,
had, we had to be
firm.
careful how we walk to the centre.
You
Where
have to be
the,
careful where you walk the centre in case you slip down the side to the eaves of the church, like, you know. And you could see daylight through that. And you could
Oh, I see the actual inside. Yes, I see inside. Not only was it covered with a dome, but inside the floor was dome shaped
yeah,
as well.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, I see.
floor was dome shaped.
You got a dome floor,
And then there was the belfry.
and then of course it was domed on top again above
belfry
that.
was on
Yeah.
our right, or on our left, whichever way.
Was
we
it about
got.
as big as this floor space or as big as much bigger?
Oh, it was longer than this. It was much longer than this.
Yes. So you had a fair amount of room.
We got enough room.
Yes, but we just confined ourselves to one spot by the belfry.
Right. So that can you show us about how big that would be? We'll map it out.
It'd be about that square, wouldn't it?
About,
the stage
from this,
square.
not the whole of the stage.
Well, about half.
About that line there, to this, up to there, across
Yeah.
the other baggage.
And did you all have your own separate places?
Oh, yeah, well, we just sat there, yes, in the same places, yeah.
Yeah, more or less in the same place every
Because
day.
you were here
yeah.
several weeks, weren't you?
Oh, yeah.
And, then he brought us a bucket up.
Did
well,
you have a...
no, we pulled it up. Right?
They gave us the bucket up for the toilet, didn't he?
Oh, yes.
We had a bucket for the toilet.
Okay. Can you remember what order you were in?
Well, I remember sitting here, Frank, Johnny Hamilton and Jack Attrell. There was Johnny Hamilton, Frank and myself, sat round like that.
Another two, Bob.
Place them.
Oh, them other two.
Bill, come and place them for us.
How much was the drop down to the eaves?
Oh,
much
it was
there.
a slide, gradient,
What do you
down
mean?
to the eaves, from
You
the...
mean
Where
from-
you were sitting, from where
yeah,
you were?
well, it was a slow fall.
From the floor of the church.
From where you
if
were,
we
yes,
fell
on
out,
the floor.
do you mean?
No, no, he
no.
means on the dome, on the top.
Actually, where you on the dome?
It had to be a slow fall, isn't it? Wasn't it?
Aye.
If you walked along the centre,
Yeah.
You got one leg up and one leg
You'd got
down.
one leg up and one down like that. See? Because it sloped away like that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then
Right.
it went across and...
So there's you. There's you.
That was me. Then there was Frank, Johnny Hamilton,
Jock hat.
Jock Attrell,
In a ring, like.
Bob, and Freddie Pye.
Spread round to leave the
It
centre.
was like
clear,
spread
yeah.
out and leave the centre clear.
And did you clean your bit or anything?
Oh no, they couldn't clean it.
That must muck up there, years and years of muck.
They'd never been up there.
What did you sleep on?
It was built, it was built.
On your coats, anything you got.
Yeah.
And the belfry was on the side, and you could look through the belfry, stand on the muckle, and look right through the side of the belfry, couldn't you, Frank, down onto the field.
Yeah.
And these big bells are there, what you want, but wood strap.
And there was the osteria next to it.
Yes.
The pub under where the jelly
How
just...
do you sit on the floor?
Like that, any old out.
Any old
And now did you used to, you had nothing to sleep on, you just,
We had nothing to sleep on, no.
so you just lay on the floor?
Yeah.
Your
And when you
coat
slept,
round.
did you sleep with your head to the centre and your feet down the
Well, you
slope?
slept any old out. You had, you know, you had your little valise for your
Fella.
pillow, your shoes, you'd take them off.
Stuck them under your valise.
What about the rats?
The mice and that aren't in there. Well, we weren't get
They
trouble with those.
weren't too bad. They weren't
They
bad
weren't
at
too
all
bad,
up there.
they were. But then across the dome, you see, there's little holes every so far across. As you used to have the lamps hanging from the church, from inside the church, see.
Yeah.
We used to walk across where there was a match on, get across on it, come down to one of these little holes, get down
All of you?
and look through those, see what was going on. And look, the other end was where
The confessional was.
the confessions were. They used to walk right across. Get down on one of these holes and have a look down, see what everybody's doing. Well, they can see people confessing to him, and you can see him, you know, you can see both of them. They were confessing the sins for what they'd done the night before and found them there behind you. You didn't know they got some people watching it.
Can you remember any incident up here? Up there, any particular day?
Well-
anything that was said or?
We never had any tobacco up there.
Yeah.
And this Ernesto Cantoni has helped me in the first place. Brought us tobacco leaves, didn't he, Frank?
Yeah, good and tobacco leaves.
These long tobacco leaves. And we had a razor blade, and we shredded the tobacco, the leaf, to make cigarettes. Well, now all we got, with no cigarette paper or anything like that, we used to use pages out of that diary as I've got a tool. A diary page, you know, but we were afraid of when we lit up, as the smoke would go through, out through the belfry, which was open, wasn't it, to one side,
Yeah.
and see the smoke coming out. So we had to do it very discreetly, you know, smoke. And we were afraid of coughing in case
Anybody heard it?
anybody heard us. And each night, they used to bring only one day, once a night, wanted this.
Yeah.
Food used to come up in a bucket, and it was mixed with tomato puree, half a bucket full, a white pail, wasn't it, Frank? And we had to pull it up on a rope.
Where was the hole? Was it near where you were?
It was by the belfry. Come
Where
up the
where
belfry
they come up
top.
the ladder?
Yeah.
It used to come up, and we pulled it up, and then by the time it got to us, it was covered with dust. But it formed a skin on the top, so we used to peel that off. So you used to peel that off and put it on one side. That was for later. If we hadn't had enough, we'd eat that. But and then you
You get a
counted,
drop of water up
you counted
occasionally.
every grain as each one of that.
See, there's nobody had any more than the other.
Literally captured. Yes, you wouldn't have to have
Who was,
one.
who was
who
in
did
charge
that?
of dishing it up? Who did that?
Jock was dishing.
Jock was disher out.
Yeah,
Jock
right.
Hatzel.
Can you remember how it went one night? How it would go?
Well, no, it was.
Comes up.
You've got to be.
Did he used to go and get it?
No,
Oh,
Who went? Who
no.
got it?
Any of us got it up.
the priest would give us the what?
The
knock on the ladder.
Knock
like.
on the ladder.
Oh, there's a knock
Oh,
on the ladder.
the bell rope, wasn't it? He used to
Shake the bell
shake
rope.
the bell rope.
Right.
We'd have a look down.
Have a look down. Was you seen down there?
He'd be there, and we'd
Right.
drop
So
the
where
rope
would
down.
that be relative to where you were?
That was
I don't
about a
know.
yard away, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So let's say
Near the belfry window?
Let's say
Almost near to me.
Yeah.
There was no windows up there. It was open.
Just a hole, see?
Just a hole, yeah.
Like the belfry was separate from like the church. Where the church come down, the belfry was separate. And you
There's no window, it was all.
But I mean, there was a hole in the wall.
Yeah, it's just like a hole in the wall. It was by that. It was up the belfry, wasn't it? You used to pull it up the belfry.
He used to drop it up there and he'd fasten it onto the bucket. We'd pull it up.
And then
Eat
we
it.
could dine. We could dine then.
So,
Jock, how would they do this? Do we have plates?
okay.
We didn't get it.
Couldn't get any exercise.
All right, Thomas.
No, we couldn't.
Yeah. Now we get to the meal.
Right, and Jock used to share that out equally.
He got a ladle there and he'd dip it and it'd shake it level for everybody.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Shake it level. It's pretty naughty, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But if there was a spoonful of it,
It was shared out.
Did you all watch this very carefully?
Oh yeah, we watched this all very, very
The
carefully.
Jock did it every time, did he?
And Jock, yeah, appointed Jock was
that dish her up.
head disruptor.
Who appointed him?
Well, all of us.
Carried unanimous, guys.
Well, Jock, kind of now let's put this right in proper perspective. Jock, being the man as he was, he like kind of, by looking at Jock, he like gave you that impression. He was like more of a leader than what
We were.
the remainder was. Like, I think we put more trust in Jack than what any of the others were. See, we relied on him more.
We looked
so
on Jack as a leader.
We looked on Jack as the leader.
The father, as you might say.
He was the eldest.
Jack was the eldest.
Was he?
Yeah. He ain't as old as you and I, is he?
He was older than us.
He's older than you and I.
Yeah.
He's older than Hamlin and Pike.
Yeah.
Can you ever remember anything anybody said on one of these occasions?
Well, there was little disturbance. Didn't we have a pack of cards up there, Frank?
Yeah.
No, we had a pack of cards up there. And we were playing cards through the day.
Yeah.
We played cards through the day.
He used to long for night to come so we could get down and go to sleep.
Yeah.
What games did you play?
Oh, we're great bridge players.
We were great bridge players then.
Six?
Played bridge then.
Well, all six of you?
Well, I don't think Freddie Pike and
Hamlin and them wouldn't.
they wouldn't join in,
They
would
wouldn't
they?
join
No,
next with us much at all.
those other two, they were like away from us somehow. They were-
Outcasts.
They were like outcasts from the first.
Did they used to have their food separately?
Oh no,
Oh,
they
no,
used
they
to
used to have
talk
food,
and that,
but-
but they had,
Dad used to muck in the same as we used to do.
they
So you'd come together for the food?
Oh, yeah.
oh yes,
How did you get rid of your latrine bucket? Where was that?
We used to drop that down on the rope
We
and
used
all
to
the
drop that down
priests
the
used to empty it and
Where
send it
was
up
it?
again.
In relation to where we are now?
well, it was anywhere, I mean, it didn't matter where
Miles
it
as
was.
well, furthest
We
away
used to
from...
keep it away.
In the toilet, that was, at the top end.
Mind you, but you never, it was a question whether it went above twice while we were up there.
Yeah, you mean? Twice a day.
Well, that was when you had that difficulty.
No, that was in the house, that was when we had the difficulty. When we thought we were bloody sheep.
What do you mean, in Giovanni's?
I thought it was sheep or rabbits. Because what we passed there was just like currants. Because we'd no fat in his body, you see, and we
Yeah.
had to pull it away from us at times.
Yeah.
Didn't Jack actually have a birthday?
Hmm?
His birthday, wasn't it?
No,
No, it's my birthday.
Oh, your birthday?
My birthday, yeah.
So,
Did you do anything in particular?
No. I was 26 on the 21st of October.
did they sing to you?
We had a bit extra grub at Christmas, didn't we?
Oh, but you weren't up here then.
but we were at the house then, weren't we?
Yeah, in the house.
All that you said was whispered in this, obviously, was it?
Pardon?
All that you ever said during this 4 months you were up here was whispered.
It was all whispered. Yes, it was all in undertone. It was all
And in the house it was all whispered.
It was all whispered. You never
Could have got
spoke.
next door neighbours, you see. And Giovanni was supposed to be living on his own.
You never spoke out loud. You just.
And you could hear the mass quite... When it was...
We could hear the
going on.
mass all right
Oh,
in
yes.
the church.
Mm.
Then one night he took us down to listen to the...
And he took it. That was the night we were leaving.
Leaving, he
wasn't
took us down to listen to the
right.
news.
When we listened to the news.
Okay, Doug.
Well, he was splitting us up.
So how long we were up there, I can't rightly tell you. I couldn't be precise at all on that.
So you left one day.
We left one night.
One
They
night.
came up and told us we'd got to go from there.
Priester? He came right up into the belfry.
Came up and told us that we got to go.
You remember what he said?
Very, very sorry that we got to go.
I'm very, very sorry.
I'm very, very sorry that you've got to go.
In Italian, was this?
In Italian, yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Of course, the trouble was the priest got the wind up, didn't he?
He
got the wind up because a little dog, there was the pub outside.
He said this, did he? Did he tell you this
He
when he
told
came
us
up?
this, yes.
Yeah.
There was a little dog that belonged to some cottages alongside the house, alongside the church, wasn't there? And this little dog had started to look up to the church and bark. It had got, he thought it had
Got an inkling
got
there
an
was
inkling
somebody
there
there.
was somebody up there. It's never done this before.
Who translated this?
Hmm?
Who translated this?
Well, we could understand this.
Must you could
You've got
understand
to
some-
understand
We've got
it,
to
you
Was
know.
there anybody who didn't?
Because the dog was
understand?
calm, you see.
Carney.
Of course, we'd got Jock there and all.
Jock
Yeah.
Attrell.
Jock Attrell made it his business to understand how to.
Yeah.
And now he speaks it fluently.
Yes.
Because he's kept it up.
Yes. And so he explained about the dog. And
He explained about the dog.
And about the priest in Milan.
About the priest in Milan.
Yes.
But he'd got shot.
He
hadn't
got caught.
He got caught by
Same
a-
thing.
was it his? Wasn't his brother? It was just a priest he knew or
Just
friend.
one of the brethren.
one of the brethren, and he was afraid of the same thing had happened. His fate would be the same.
Yes.
So
Bill, can I interrupt you a second? Can you remember when he did come up? Did he say anything like "Good evening"? He hadn't been up before, had he?
no, he'd never been up.
When he
previous.
poked his head up, what did he say?
Well, he just come and told us that.
What do you mean, the priest or?
Yeah,
or
no, the priest.
The priest.
You can't remember the moment when he stuck his head up.
No, weren't we advised? But didn't Domenica tell us first about it? Is it to expect it?
Well, he told us more or less to expect it. And he was going to try and
And try and get us somewhere
find us
else.
somewhere else.
Oh, see, Domenico had come up in advance.
In advance and told us something.
We
about
thought it
he
was-
came one night with Ernesto Cantoni, didn't he?
Yeah.
When they brought those extra tobacco leaves.
Tobacco leaves.
And gave us an inkling then that we may have to.
The priest was getting the wind up.
He was getting the wind up, and then the priest told us about this dog, and
Yes.
we'd gone down. Then he took us down to listen to the radio. He said you must listen to Radio London, didn't he? Say?
He said, so you must go. And then immediately did you all, that moment,
We sat down there, and Domenico came, and Franco, his brother, didn't he?
Yes, well, didn't some of us go to one of the houses? A relation of his.
I never did. No, that was after. That was after we left the house. That was after Giovanni's, yeah. Because we went to that house and when we went.
Ah, but there was two went to one place.
Oh, first, wasn't there?
Two went before we
Ah,
went to
Jack
the
and
house.
Johnny Hamilton.
And then he took us to visit him one night.
That's it, yeah.
Francesco took us to
Yeah.
visit him.
but then you went downstairs to the priest's house,
Inside the house, yeah.
all six,
All the six of us.
right? So
All
were
the
you
six.
standing up in the priest's house?
Yeah.
Did they still used to keep a bit apart, those two?
Hmm?
They still used
Oh no, they were all together then.
Uh-huh.
We were on speaking terms and all that. There was
Yeah.
nothing wrong with it. Like,
So
we
you
were
went
all
into,
friends.
did you all sit down inside the priest's house? Stand up.
What sitting facilities there were? But we weren't there long, were we, Frank?
Weren't there.
And what did you hear?
Half
Can you
an
remember
hour.
what you heard on radio? And he tuned in to the BBC, did he? He had a s-
I think we heard that William Joyce on. I think he was on.
And did he? I
Like
think you
William
said there he
Joyce.
moved a stone from the fireplace, Bill.
So he used to stick his head up
Well,
there, stuck his head up the chimney.
I seem to think as he took it from out of the
Oh, the radio.
radio out to the side of the ground, outside of by
Fireplace.
the fireplace. And whether the aerial was up the chimney or not, I don't
No,
know.
he got his head up the chimney because he reckoned he could hear anybody walking around the church that way.
Oh yes, that was it.
See?
But he pulled this out by the side of the fireplace, this radio. And
It was hidden.
It was hidden, and they put this radio on, and we heard some reports from
He stood with his head up the chimney.
and we heard
Domenico wasn't there, was he then?
no,
No,
D-
he was
Domenico,
coming 4
he
hours
came
later.
after. He came 4 hours later,
Right. Uh-huh.
and then he took us down. He said he got this place for us to go, and he took us. We walked down we went behind the church, didn't we, Frank?
I couldn't tell where
Down
he
behind the houses,
Back
on
over
a
there.
on a little old path.
Yeah.
And this path brought us out immediately opposite Giovanni's, because
Giovanni's, yeah.
Giovanni's was like at the end,
End house.
end house, and you could see right up the road, couldn't you, out the bedroom.
But he kept us off the main road.
Yeah.
It did.
All in a line, and that was Domenico.
All in a line,
All right.
single file we were.
Yeah. Who was in front? Jock?
No, well, I don't know who was in front,
Forgotten that.
but